What's up, degenerates? Mad Merrigan here for 𝗊𝗄𝗋 Sports. I am joined by Micky D, 𝗂𝗍𝗂, and we have a bit of a special treat for you tonight as we are joined by the young globe-trotting superstar, David Egan. Welcome, David. How is things doing?
Yeah, things are good, Paddy. It's been a while since we've seen each other, but it'll be good to see you when I'm back home soon, hopefully.
Yeah, absolutely brilliant. You've made giant strides on the world stage and very impressive, and really, really nice partnership with Mishreef, and absolutely amazing. I'm sure all the family are very proud of your achievements. Micky D, how's things? And 𝗂𝗍𝗂 today, kicking off today with a winner at Ascot, and yeah, thank God for it. We needed it. Quick word.
Yeah, it's good. Great start to the meeting. Well, today it was, but hit the crossbar a few times after that. But happy enough the way things are going. Looking forward to tomorrow. There's some good chances there tomorrow, so we're looking forward to it.
Really interesting. And Micky D, what about today for you? So unlucky in the big, I suppose the conundrum, as we call it, with the 30 runners. Just finding one very good horse to deny your selection as well.
Yeah, he had a pretty good day today. I had 𝗵𝗵𝗄𝗋 and Astro King and David riding in the last one there as well. I had him at 16s last night each way, so I got paid out on them. And made a few pounds today.
Yeah, really, really impressive day. As we've seen David as well, very unlucky in the last. And I thought maybe with a clean run, we would have had a winner on, a Royal Ascot winner today on board with us. But as we move on to tomorrow, and a new day brings, of course, a new challenge as we start off with the Norfolk. Really, really trappy race, and I'm not so sure about anything. What about yourself, 𝗂𝗍𝗂? Have you had a chance to look, and is there anything lurking? Might be a little bit of value.
Yeah, I like 𝗂𝗍𝗂 here. He won on his debut over course and distance, and he's open to any amount of improvement. And any rain that falls as well, there'll be no problem with him because he won on soft ground. David Loughnane won the last race. He had 1-2 in the last race today. So obviously the stable's in form. Sylvester Asusa rides. I like him. He's around 9 or 10 to 1 shot. I think he's good value.
Not so bad. David Egan, have you had the pleasure of seeing or being anywhere near any of these, or having a sit on anything? An open enough affair with the 5 to 1 Aidan O'Brien at the top of the market. I see the American horses on the drift. Anything here tickle your fancy?
I like the horse in the Velo. George Bowie's having a tremendous season. He's proven himself. His strike rate is second to none. I think he's like 40+% with his 2-year-olds this year. It's quite phenomenal, really. It's never been, I haven't seen it in a trainer's first couple of seasons to be that consistent with his 2-year-olds. Novello, he's been a good sort of flag bearer for him as all them 2-year-old races he's won. I think the big thing this week is going to be when the rain comes, whether we get enough rain, whether the rain comes tonight or tomorrow morning, which we're due, and it depends how much we get. The ground's was very quick today, and they didn't, I don't think they watered that much yesterday because we're expecting this rain, and he's a horse who's handled good to soft conditions and softer, so he'd be a horse that knows his job. He's had plenty of experience, and he might just have the edge on them other horses that have maybe just gone and won their maidens.
Yeah, I got the feeling George Bowyer really liked him. Seen him doing an interview when he talked about him, and he said that he was the type of horse that he didn't know where he could end. I know he was beaten the last day, but Sandown can be very trappy. If things don't go right for sprinters, especially in Sandown, you can draw a line through them. What about Micky D? Where do the stats lie here, Micky? Anything for us?
Well, first of all, there's no favourite in the last 10 years. And the second or third favourite is the best angle. There's been 2 4-to-1 shots, there's been 2 5-to-1 shots, a 6-to-1 and an 8-to-1. So there's been nothing extraordinary at all, like in price wise. So if the ground was like today, I had Aidan O'Brien's Cadamisto that won in broke his maiden in Dundalk. I thought he'd go on top of the ground. I know there's rain forecast, but it depends where you're looking, because some people were saying this evening it's not going to be as heavy as it was and whatever. And the outsider of the Yanks, Wesley Ward's horse, 𝗥cie𝗵𝗃, the one that 𝗪𝗏 Murphy is on, he won on pure shite ground in Keeneland, and the horse that he beat has skated up twice in Belmont. So if it was, and he's a big strong horse, so one or the other would be for me, depending on the going.
Yeah, interesting. Yeah, it's hard to know how much rain they'll get. I think there was a couple of different reports, but anyway, I suppose time will tell. We're too far out to even try and judge it. For me, I liked, was it the Andreas Velasquez or Velasquez, I don't know how to pronounce it, by Caravaggio, Joseph O'Brien's. And I just thought to myself, he's coming over here off the back of a decent run. He seems to finish off his races quite strong. And definitely one and an outsider, maybe he'll have a chance. It's not a race I have a very strong opinion on. I think a lot of improving horses. But being by Caravaggio, definitely of interest. And maybe could outrun his odds at, I think he's about 16 to 1. Sure, we'll leave that there, lads, and we'll move on to the Hampton Court. And I see Aidan O'Brien's horse here was interesting enough. Roman Empire. I thought the last day it was maybe used as a little bit of a pacemaker. Could be interesting, but I know the favourite really, really strong. He was pulled out of the Derby, wasn't it, for the ground? So if the ground stays good, is the favourite Micky? Is he too short, or is he? Well, he's on the drift now to 15 to 8. Is he worth a bet? I know there was high hopes from before the Derby.
Only 3 favourites in the last 10 years has won, and there's no favourites in the last 5 years. And 8 of the last 10 races, or this renewal or race, has been won by a top trainer. One race was won in 2011 at 20 to 1. All other winners have been 7 to 1 down to 7 to 4 favourite. So the classy sort and up at the top of the market tends to win it. And I went on one ruler. It was 6th in the Guineas, and it was 6th in the Derby. And this could be its optimum trip. And he's suits everything that he's about 6 to 1, 13 to 2, second or third favourite. So that'll be for me.
Yeah, really nice. What about you, David? Have you had the pleasure of seeing moving time in the betting here for Roger Varian? Do you know much about him, or one ruler? It's an interesting race. A couple of horses, I suppose, with a bit to prove. But anything there that sticks out to you?
Yeah, moving time. He's a horse. Did 2 nice inductions at Newcastle, finishing second on his first 2 starts, and he was very impressive in Newmarket when he won. And the form was frank today when Kamari came out and won the staying race today. He beat him by 4 lengths. That's I see he's shortening up in the betting, and that could be one of the reasons seeing that horse win very impressively today. And moving time beat him by 4 lengths comfortably on good ground. So if they do get a bit of rain, I don't think it'll go much softer than good. Easy side good maybe. So he could be a horse with a very life chance, second in the market.
Yeah, very interesting runner, especially the way the horse he beat that won today was so impressive. Joe Value, he's 11 to 4 now. Is he still the value? Definitely a horse on the up, and still only had I think the 3 runs overall.
Yeah, moving time is the bet here, lads. It's time to move. If you're doing your bollocks for the week, it's time to get stuck into moving time. And if you're winning, just play the winnings up on moving time. I think you'll definitely, well, you know, depending on the ground. The ground, obviously, as you said earlier on, Paddy, it will be against the favourite. It will be for moving time, so he has to be the one for me. Yeah,
no worries at all. Definitely interesting. I thought another one maybe worth a little mention was one ruler who King fans, but Roman Empire was the horse for Aidan O'Brien the last day. I thought he was sent for home, you know, a long way out. Now, I know it's hard to judge it when it's a pacemaker. Sometimes the field can let them go, but he's definitely of interest. Maybe if the ground went soft, I think he won on heavy before, so definitely maybe a horse at a big price, but it is on the drift, so that is worrying. What about the favourite though, lads? Micky, I'll just come back to you for a minute. This horse, there was a lot of hype about this horse now. This horse was really, really hyped up. Could he be as good as everybody thinks? Or you know, definitely if the ground is good, they seem to think he's the real deal.
But like a lot of trainers, it depends what trainer hypes up their horses. Look at the Yanks this week. Wesley Ward was bringing over 8 or 9, and he said he'd win the lot. I'm sure they've only a second out of it. Like, yeah. I go on forum, I go on stats, I do my own thing, and I don't believe in hype at all.
Yeah, well, you're probably right. I suppose. Look, it is what it is. Just for me, the talk of this horse the last day was very much. But anyway, we'll move on to the Rebelsdale, and I suppose this is where we pick up the young David. I think your first ride in here is it 𝗕𝗲𝗄𝗃? Is that how you pronounce it?
Yeah, 𝗕𝗲𝗄𝗃.
Yeah, 𝗕𝗲𝗄𝗃 for Roger. Definitely very unexposed, but had a nice run. Was it behind the George Boogie filly, Mystery Angel, that finished, was it second?
Second, yeah.
Yeah.
In the Oaks.
In the Oaks. So really, really interesting, 𝗕𝗲𝗄𝗃. How are you feeling? Are you confident of maybe stepping up a little bit on what she's showing so far?
Yeah, obviously, it's still a maiden, but obviously if she's on her second start, getting placed in a black type race, she's got she deserves to take her spot in Royal Ascot. Had a good connection with the owner, Mr. 𝗏𝗏𝗃. He's given me plenty of winners. I ride a nice horse from called Nagano later on. So hopefully we can start off the day good, first ride of the day. And she's not without a squeak. She's obviously an outsider, but trained Mr. Gosling, they've all got a chance heading to Ascot.
Yeah, so a really nice price there, 25 to 1. So let's hope he can step up and outrun the odds. Joe Value, I'll take it to you. Of course, we have at the top of the betting the Sir Michael Stoute filly, Noon Star. Definitely has rock solid form, I suppose, everywhere. What about it? Is it short enough, or has it got the form in the book?
No, she definitely has the form in the book. If anything, you know, we'll keep banging on about how the rain will go or whatever, but if the rain does come, it'll suit this one as well, and she might even get shorter. You know, she's 94, 5 to 2 now. I think that's fair. If you look at her run at Wetherby, her closing speed figure was phenomenal, and the horses in behind her, they've all won since. She ran very well, obviously, in York behind Snowfall. The race didn't really work out. I think there's only one bit of its danger in it. I think it's the Mark Johnson horse, Dubai Fountain. She'll have to be forgiven her poor run the Oaks, but if she gets back to form, she might give her a race. But honestly, think if Noon Star settles early on the race, there's only one winner.
Yeah, definitely has rock solid form. A horse I was looking at was Twisted Reality. I think it can definitely step up. It will need to. But a sire I really like is this Fastnet Rock. He seems to put a lot of stamina into his horses. And I just think this filly ran a nice race for a trainer, Ralph Beckett, who's having an amazing year. So I think Twisted Reality might step up on what it's done, albeit she'll have to on only our third start. Mickey D, where does it lie with you?
I think Joe's looking down at me at notes again. 3 favourites in the last 10 years. Johnny Gosden has won 3 times and Aidan O'Brien 3 times, and either of those has won it in the last 5 years. But I have to go on Noon Star, second in the Musadora at Yorkshire, Snowfall, out of Galileo, Midday, the Dam. Both of them are Group 1, mile and 4. Mile and 4 tomorrow, I think. I wrote it down 2 weeks ago as the best of the week, and without even knowing what was in the field. And I haven't changed my mind, and I'm on, and I'll be on again.
Well, really, really strong word for the favourite. So still around 9 to 4. Was as big as 11 to 4 earlier, so definitely strengthening up all the time. Right, well, we'll move on. So on to the big one tomorrow. Can Stradivarius make history and join Yates to win 4 Gold Cups? What are you thinking? I see there's a monster gamble on Trujan, so I was going to tip him up at 11 to 2. He's into 7 to 2 now. He would welcome any rain. David, any angle in this race? There's a lot of potentially nice stayers coming in with nice form, but they will have to step up, I suppose, to take down the mighty Stradivarius.
Of course, I think everyone looking at this race is kind of hoping he goes and does it. The way he's been winning his races, and to join Yates in winning the Gold Cup 4 times would be a tremendous achievement. But he won well. The last day was probably only a prep run for this. So look, I think all eyes will be on Stradivarius. But true, and he ran a good race last time, and maybe another one that's maybe at a bigger price is Spanish Mission, who did well to win the Yorkshire Cup impressively. So at a bigger price, he'd be probably one with William Buick, who's having a tremendous week.
Yeah, really, really good. And the Balding team as well. A lot of these horses running rock solid. What about yourself, Joe? Value Stradivarius, he's gone the drift now to 6 to 5. Is he value at 6 to 5? Or he has lost, I think, 3 of his last 4, but he did come back with a nice prep win. So at 6 to 5, are you with or against?
I'm not, and I wouldn't be totally against him, but like, he's a 7-year-old, so he's hardly improving. You know, so I'm definitely back in the second favourite through chance to beat him. Even at 3 or 4 to 1, I think there's nothing wrong with it. And the run in Chester was a tremendous run, trying to give Japan £5 over a trip a bit short of his best, having his first run of the season. He's going to improve a lot from that. And as we keep saying, if the rain does come, it'll go into his favour a lot more than it will Stradivarius's.
Right, Mickey D, are you in agreement or against? Are you with or without the brilliant Stradivarius?
7 favourites in the last 10 years. Stradivarius has ran 9 times at Ascot. He has won 6 and he has lost 3. The 3 losses were in the month of October, and the last time I looked at the calendar, this was June, so Stradivarius wins.
So it's Stradivarius.
As an outsider, with a view to long-term staying races, the Saddlebeg winner was Emperor of the Seas. He's only 4-year-old, and he could be the new kid on the block. He's like 25 to 1, 15 to 2 without the favourite. It's always a great race to look at the Saddlebeg with a view to staying races, and he's only 4. It's interesting that the Coolmore outfit has paid 30,000 to supplement Serpentine, and as much money as to have, that hate losing 30k. So they'd be looking to get some of that back. So I don't know, he's a 14, 16 or something. So I just throw them out there for people that might be interested in something without the favourite or not backing a strong favourite. Like.
Yeah, he's definitely interesting after being supplemented and a former Derby winner. Interesting race. I thought for myself, Trujan, but the price is gone now, so I'm just going to sit out and watch this brilliant race. It would bring the house down if Stradivarius could pull it off. It will be probably one of his toughest tests for a good while. I think there's a lot of unexposed ones, but if he turns all these away, he really, really is one of the best ever. Right, let's move on so to a bit of a puzzle. The Britannia. We'll let David take this one. Dino, David, around 16 to 1 the last time I checked. How are you feeling? He's off a mark at 93. He's unexposed.
Yeah, unexposed. He ran a good race in the Solaro Stakes as a 2-year-old. He's a horse that jumps pretty slow, and he missed the break that day and made up a lot of ground up the hill at Sandown. Ran a good race, and his seasonal debut was around Wolverhampton over 7 furlongs, which he jumped slow again, and the race kind of got away from him. But he's got a mark now, and he deserves to take his chance. But you know yourself, Britannia's like, it's a lottery, so it's a bit like the Hunt Cup today. So it's a big guessing game. But see how you get on with your picks.
Yeah, it would be nice if you were as well treated as the winner of the Hunt Cup today. But geez, what a performance. Right, Mickey D, where does it lie here for you? It's a look, again, a very trappy handicap. But come on, give us one at a bit of value.
There's only one favourite for the last 10 years. That's not surprising. And that was in 2012. You have a 28 to 1, a 25 to 1, a 21, 22 to 1, a 20 to 1 winners. Only 2 single digits stall numbers has won it. 5 have been drawn in the middle between, we say, 11 and 20. Only 3 over 9 stone. So when you add all of them up, I come down with 3 sort of outsiders. They're all around 20 or 25 to 1. Suma, Peso, Grid, and George Peabody. So to be all stalls 17, 16, and 14. I didn't check the prices, and I've done that last night now. So I went on the middle draw, so they're outsiders.
Yeah, nice prices. Joe Value, can you figure out another conundrum so on day 3? What are you thinking?
Yeah, I was fancying the Roger Varian horse there, 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏, David, would that be how you pronounce it?
Yeah, 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏.
Yeah, I just thought he was not much of a race. He won the last day, but he kind of quickened twice, I think. He quickened to get there, and then he quickened away again nicely to win his race. I know this is a big step up, and he's drawn 24. Mick is kind of after putting me off a little bit. The draw, I don't know. It's hard to work it out, but I just thought he's a young and proven horse, and he has his chance. That's all.
Yeah, definitely of interest in stepping up. Look, for me, a quick word to air. I like the way this horse won his last start. I thought they went very steady in Doncaster, and to be able to sit last and still come through on the bridle, there was kind of no pace for a long time. And I remember I napped him up that day, and I was worried for the first half of the race because they were crawling, but this horse still came through on the bridle. He's only up £8. He could be still very well handicapped. A stiff mile at Ascot. Look, he got the mile okay in Doncaster for the first time. They didn't go that hard. Let's hope maybe there's not a lot of rain before this race. And I think he could be the handicap lot, maybe only up £8 for a very, very easy win. Right, let's leave that there and then move on to a very interesting King George Stakes. Looking at the top of the betting, I see the Aidan O'Brien, Sir Lamoureux, definitely a horse on the improve. Nagano, David, definitely a horse unexposed, stepping up. Nothing like riding a horse coming in off the back of a couple of wins. How are you feeling for this guy?
Yeah, no, he's a horse that ran very greenly first time out in Wood Ditton, which is a three-year-old early in the year on the Rolly Mall at Newmarket for unraced horses. And he was at the back of the field, and I was sort of scrubbing away with him from he jumped out the gates, out the back, and started picking off a few, sort of approaching the 2 pole, and he picked his way through the field and finished a nice third first time out behind a nice horse of Mr. Goslin's called Peter the Great. He followed that up, winning his maiden in Nottingham, ran pretty similar, middle of the pack. I was scrubbing away from a long way from home, and he got the job done. Led on, but didn't really step forward. He was still a bit clueless, but mentally he took a big step forward from his second to his third run in Newcastle. He jumped, he travelled well in behind the leaders, and he battled well to beat the horse that actually beaten first time out, Peter the Great. So an improving horse of a mark of 94 to go and win a Royal Ascot handicap. For 3-year-olds, you're going to need to be a group horse to win these types of races. So look, on form and the way he's progressing, he's going the right way anyway.
Yeah, definitely a horse, and he's by Fastnet Rock as well. Definitely improve for the stiffer test. I think he definitely is a horse that pulled a long way clear of the third horse as well the last day. So really, really, definitely a horse on the up. Mickey D, can you figure out this? Is O'Brien's horse? Is he as big as of improver as he need to be? I see Ryan Moore and O'Brien having a quite enough week. I know Love got it done today, but a lot of near misses as well for them.
Yeah, it's an open affair. There's no outright favourites in the last 10 years. There was 2 joint favourites at 4-1, and you had a 20-1, a 22-1, and all the rest were under 12-1. Aidan O'Brien has only won it once in the last 10 years. There was only 2 over 9 stone as well. And one actually won it that was carrying 8 stone 1, but the other ones were all between 8 stone 9 and 9 stone. I came down on Surefire for the Beckett Yard. I backed him the last day. He actually was a leg in a lucky 15 that I hit. He was the second leg. And I thought he was beat at the 2 furlong pole, but when he rallied and settled into it and got his stride, the farther the wind, like the farther he won. And there's improvement in him, and I think he's a good bet tomorrow. Surefire.
Yeah. Hector Crouch in the saddle, so it could be a big day for him. Joe Value, what are you thinking? It seems a lot of hard to nail the colours down to one, but definitely some interesting contenders. Anything standing out?
I don't know whether you can read that from there, but it says Surefire.
You boys are in cahoots there now. I think you two are working together.
For much the same reasons as Mick said, but she's no He's no form on softish ground, but his mother, Modessa, she's by Sadler's Wells, so that shouldn't be an issue. Massively impressive in Leicester, as Mick was saying, and he's as good a chance as any, and I'll be definitely backing him as well.
Right, well, I can't go again. My horse here, 𝗨𝗪𝗍, or if that's how you pronounce it, 𝗨𝗪𝗍, I think is the correct way. This is a son of Galileo. He's been learning his job while winning. He only had 2 runs on the turf. He had a win, and then he had a close call the last day in Doncaster. But I like this horse off of mark at 90. I think he's definitely 8 or 9 pounds ahead of his mark. The problem is there could be horses in here that end up 15, 20 pound higher than what they're running. But definitely a horse with a big chance tomorrow. I think the last day in Doncaster, he was still learning a lot on the job. And I think if he's a bit more streetwise this time off a mark of 90, I think he'll definitely be banged there. So it's interesting enough. But then let's move on, I suppose, to the Buckingham. And really another very, very trappy race. There's a couple of horses coming in here I thought were very impressive. Was Boardman, the 𝗬𝗏𝗏 horse. We have Aldari at the top of the market. Jim Crowley as well having a good year. And we have another horse of Roger Varian's, Lord Campree. David, anything there that stands out to you, or are you familiar with Roger Varian's?
Yeah, Lord Campree ran in the Lockinge. He finished sort of midday. I think he's finished 6th or 7th there. Obviously, Palace Pier was a runaway winner. Stepping down into this grade will obviously help. I was looking at actually the horse you were mentioned, Boardman. I was looking through his form, and he actually beat last time out in Chester a horse called 𝗥𝗏𝗋𝗏𝗏 that I won the last race on Derby Day, a horse that I hold in high regard and who's improving all the time. So on form, he's the improved horse. So he's rated 95 or 96 now. That Boardman, he's still on the up and very consistent, and that's what you need for Ascot.
Yeah, definitely a horse of interest. Yeah, a great day. Let's just quickly mention Derby Day, 2nd on the outsider, 2 winners on the day. A horse, just before we move on, I want to get a quick word on Third Realm. We tipped them up here at Colbert Sports to win the Lingfield Derby trial. Yes, we can draw a line through the Epsom Derby. How do you think Third Realm is doing, and what's next for him, do you know, Dave?
Yeah, I don't know what the plan for him is. Obviously, he won the trial in Lingfield very impressively, didn't he? And obviously the horse that he beat went on to go and get the job done. So obviously frustrating when he goes and beats the horse in his trial and the form doesn't maybe frank as well as he'd. But look, he'll be back to have better days. He's not the biggest horse in the world, but he tries very hard, and I think he's a horse just with racing. He's still lightly raced, so he's entitled to come on from the run. Epsom's not the easiest track in the world. It's very tough. So he would have learned a lot from that experience, and I'm sure he'll have another day in the sun again. Yeah,
I've no doubt there's a lot of potential in this horse. And I just draw a line through the Derby. I thought he lost it in the first 2 furlongs. He was a little bit sticky, and then he couldn't just hold his posse. And from there on, he had an uphill task. Yeah. But for me, he still ran great, even though didn't seem to handle it that well. But we'll definitely look forward to seeing him out again. When he won the Lingfield trial, we had him 16-1, 14-1. So great day for the followers that day. And we'll definitely look forward to seeing him. Right, Mickey D, what are you thinking in this, I suppose, the lucky last tomorrow?
I don't know how lucky it can be. I was thinking of maybe the top weight Bedouin Story. But I'd love to see a good run if the rain didn't come. Was for 𝗏𝗏 for Pat Flynn. It's a Roscommon owned horse and very underrated. It had won 5 times in Dundalk over the winter and this year, and it had done ran very well in Cork the last day, staying on. It loves top of the ground, but if it was today or yesterday, it was right chance, and it's about 30-1, 33-1. But I just hope it runs well, and I hope that it wouldn't rain too much for it after going over. Apart from that, no great view.
You're right. Joe, value in the lucky last tomorrow. Can you spot? Is there a bit of value in it? Does it exist?
Yeah, I'm hoping so anyway. I'm going to have a few quid on number 5. It's called Symbolize. Symbolize was 4th in the Windsor Castle in 2019 on soft ground as well. Now he's been in and out since, you know. But I like backing horses at these big festivals that has run well there in the past. Now he could be 33-40 to 1 shot, but I think, you know, if you can get him back to near his best, he could be in the shake-up, you know, at that kind of price. I like it.
Very interesting. I'll tell you, just a horse at a bigger price. Ropey guest for me, George Margus and Tom Queally definitely could outrun its odds. As big as 25 to 1 today, even a bit bigger. I see he's into 22 to 1 there now. But look, before we wrap this up, lads, for day 3, and when I have David here, we have a runner for Friday. I just seen you have a couple of nice rides. Is it Title in the first, the son of Camelot? Yeah. Really impressive the last day. I think he's stepping up and trip again. He hit the line so strong, so snug and so strong the last day. I think this horse is a very big player on Friday, David. Are you looking forward to him?
Yeah, exciting horse. I've ridden him on all of his starts. He finished a nice second first time out in Newbury, which was a terrific run. He showed a bit of green that day. Run on street to nearly get up on the line. I felt myself, I was very unlucky not to win at Newbury. It was just on the head bob, and actually thought crossing the line he'd actually won, but he's a horse with a high head carriage, and it just happened when he put his head up, he really put it up just on the line. Frankie just bid us on the line. One of Mr. Gosden's, but he did well to be a nice filly. Mr. Haggis is in Yarmouth last time out. He travelled nicely into the race and quickened up nice and hit the line really strong, which should prove he should stay the trip, no problem.
Yeah, definitely a very interesting horse for me. Another one we'll just touch on, the filly 𝗏𝗡𝗏, very impressive winner of a Group 2 the last time. She will have to step up, I suppose, to trouble as a Mother Earth, I think, is the top of the market. And I think that's in the Coronation Stakes.
Yeah, look, it's a terrific race, isn't it? You got the impressive filly of Ed Walker's that won at York. She looked fantastic, didn't she? She quickened away for Andrea 𝗔𝗍 at the York Festival meeting. You got Snow Lantern in there, who probably just ran a bit free the last day. I thought that ran a good race as well. There's some very top-class fillies in this, along with Mother Earth. So, not my filly deserves to take her chance. Very impressive winner of the German Guineas. And, yeah, it'd be exciting to see her run.
Yeah, well, give it up. Absolutely brilliant. Anyway, we wish you the very best, David, in your career, from everybody here at Cold-Bear Sports. Mickey D, Joe Value, lads, thanks a million. Really appreciate it, as always, bringing in the great stats. Enjoy yourself with the value. And David, we wish you well, globe trotting wherever you go next. And you are so versatile as the horse you were riding. What 2 brilliant rides. One completely different from the other, and 2 the same result. So brilliant stuff, lads. Thanks a million. The time for Cotton is over.
One for tomorrow, Paddy.
Go on, Mickey. Give us a winner.
Cole Cullen, Jim Bulger, and Kevin Manning in the 7:30 at Leopardstown. The favourite is about 13 to 8, and he's about 6 to 1. But he was catching him the last time in the Cabinteely handicap. And it's an extra furlong the next day, and I think he'll turn it around tomorrow, and I think he's the great bet.
Lovely job, Joe. So before we wrap it up, have you anything further degenerates?
I actually have. I've done a lot of research on it, so I have. So his winner runs in 7:30 race. Mine runs in the 7:40 race at Linkfield. It's called Lone Square, trained by Ed Walker, son of Zoffany. He's been running over 6 furlongs, 7 furlongs, just getting handicapped. Runs over a mile for the first time tomorrow. It'll be around 3 or 4 to 1. Get on.
Lovely. Get on. Sounds good. Right, David, just give a quick mention to Dad when you see him. We knocked up by George the other day. We thought we were home and hosed at as big as 14 to 1 throughout the day. One came and robbed us. But anyway, look, as always, I really appreciate your time tonight. Tell Dad and all I was asking for them. And the very, very best of luck. Lads, thanks. Let's hope Royal Ascot, Dave, you get a winner. All right?
Thanks a lot, guys. Good to speak to you all. Bye-bye.
Nice one, Dave.